we have so much power to create as women. It's incredible, and that's why I do this work, because you deserve to be seen. Your magic needs the world needs your magic. Welcome to the Go Inspire podcast, where we dive deep into everything human design. You'll find this podcast tailored especially for the independent, spiritually aware, free spirit, excited to learn, grow, and experiment their way to their best life. As a lifelong adventure, my empathetic, purpose-driven style is here to help you tackle life's problems, make them more fun, and have you feeling like you have an awkward best friend that just gets you. Join me for each episode to decode your human design chart, talk lifestyle, parenting, relationships, and, well, how to be more unapologetically you. Oh, hey, I'm so excited to be back with you. I have a very Fraggle Rock episode for you today. That just means it's going to bounce around into a couple of different places. But I have to bring you along with what's happening right now. I'm really excited. So, today is my birthday. And this birthday feels so different than other birthdays I've felt in the past. There is just this lead up of energy coming into this birthday that I cannot possibly begin to explain. But there have been the wildest amount of synchronicities and magical things happening. So we're going to talk about it. First and foremost, for those of you who have been following, you know I am designed for business. The online course goes live tomorrow, and the self-paced course is also available right now, so you can do things at your leisure. That one has both of those courses. You get access to the intro to human design, as well as human design for business and how your design shows up in your business, if you're an entrepreneur, or even in your career. So super excited for that. I can't wait for the group that starts tomorrow. So that's going to be really great. I'm doing that with another human design expert that I've known for over 10 years. She's wildly incredible, just the most intuitive soul. I don't know if we've talked about her before. Her and I, years ago, took this wild trip, this last minute trip. Okay, let's just do a story time. So years ago, we had met each other at this gym, and this particular gym was a gym in Arizona where it was just this huge gym, and there was like so many connections made in this place. It was really wild. I had wanted to go hike the Grand Canyon. She had wanted to go hike the Grand Canyon. At that time, we didn't talk a lot. We were certainly friends, but not like super close friends, a little bit more of acquaintances. This trip opens up where somebody had gotten a bunch of passes to go to this place called Havasupai Falls. If you've never heard of it, definitely look it up, Google it. The pictures are going to like explode your brain. But so this person had gotten like, I don't know, 12 passes or something like that. And at the last minute, there was a bunch of people who backed out. They just were not able to go. So if you've ever tried to hike down into the Grand Canyon and go to Havasupai Falls, you know those, you basically have to get a ticket to go in. What is it? A permit. You have to get a permit to go in. And to get the permits is really hard. They open up sales once a year. It's a lottery system. At the time, the tribe down at the bottom had like a single phone in the tribe office, and somebody was answering that phone. And if you tried to call and get your permit on the day that it opened and it was busy, you just had to keep calling until hopefully you got through. Lo and behold, we got permits in a roundabout way because people had backed out. So we got to go on this really, really, really incredible trip together, hike all the way down into the Grand Canyon, and spend a couple days at the bottom frolicking in the waterfalls and just basking in all of the greatness that is the Grand Canyon and the tribe and the beautiful turquoise waters. So that's a little bit of background about how I met her. Now we both coach to human design, and she's just an intuitive, beautiful, beautiful soul. So she will be with me in the I Am Designed for Business course. We are collaborating on that. I hope you get a chance to meet her. So that's one of the things that's been going on. It starts tomorrow on February 22nd, 222. Love the synchronicities there. But there are also some other things that have been landing. And so I want to bring you in on that conversation. We have been both Sarah and myself have been talking about how for the longest time we have really understood that there are certain intuitive hits that you get. Intuition, instinct, energetics play a big role. And so, for example, if you have ever decided that you were going to buy a particular car and you're like, this car, I've never seen this car anywhere, Nobody has it. It's crazy. It's gonna be incredible. You get the car, and then all of a sudden you notice the car everywhere on the road, right? It's all energetics. Like all of a sudden you start noticing it, and really that is what human design is. So I'm going to back up a hot second because I've been getting this question a bunch from people who are like in and around my space that are seeing human design, they're hearing human design, but they don't understand exactly what that means. And so human design is like the evidence of the energy that you have in your body. So once upon a time, as even as humans, we couldn't think for ourselves, but we had to survive as a species, right? And the way that we did that is we relied on our intuitive nudges. We relied on our God winks and our soul whispers. And each one of us would get different hits based off of who and how we were designed. So human design brings together multiple different disciplines and it looks at what is the energy in your body. If you've ever seen like Chinese medicine or experienced Chinese medicine, acupuncture, you know that when there's energy disruptions, right, it can cause, disease and things in your body. And human design is like that on a much bigger scale. So, for example, you have different energy centers in your body. And I'm going to use a relevant example from a client that I was talking to today. This person has an emotional center. So, that is the triangle on the far right hand side that is pointing towards the middle. Her center is open completely. Now, if you're wondering about your own, you can get your human design. It's free on my website. Just go to darciegoins.com, DARCIEGOINS.com. Plug in your information. You can download your PDF for free. So, in this human, her emotional center is completely open. She does not have consistent access to that energy. So, what that means is there are some people in the world where they have consistent access to their emotions. The best way I can describe it is like this. If you imagine all these different energy centers that you have in your body, there's a plug. And when you are defined in an area, it's like you have a Tesla charger that's permanently plugged into that plug. You can't unplug it. So the circuit is continuous, right? There's energy always flowing through that. You have consistent access to your emotions. You have an additional outlet that you don't use. Okay, so that's somebody who's defined. That just means your shape is colored in. If you're undefined, it means that you don't have your own plug. You're walking around with a dongle looking for a plug to plug into. And so, if she's open, which she is, she plugs her dongle, her plug, into somebody else's outlet. What happens is it goes, "Vroom," and you get this like surge of energy, right? And all of a sudden now she's got this energy running through her circuit. She's not actually designed to be able to maintain that energy, understand that energy. So what happens is in the emotional center specifically, she ends up feeling the other person's emotions unintentionally. They feel like they're her emotions. They're not. It can be really confusing to people until you understand your design and you're like, "Oh, all this time, I get so wrapped up in everybody else's emotions, it's exhausting." Of course it's exhausting. She's not designed to hold those kind of emotions. She's designed to observe those emotions, to be compassionate, to be empathetic, but not to hold those emotions like they are her own. So if you are looking at your human design chart and you are undefined, then the lesson here in this for you is learning how to emotionally regulate, learning how to ask yourself, I'm feeling all this anxiety. Do I have a reason to be feeling this anxiety? If the answer is no, man, put that ish in a bubble and blow it away. It's not yours. And because your body isn't designed to process that, when you get that volt, you're going to feel that emotion stronger than even the person who has that emotion in the first place. So if they're feeling anxiousness on a 3 or a 4, you might be feeling anxiousness on a 7, 8, or 9 for no very good reason. So that is a lesson in emotionally defined, undefined. All the centers have a different flavor, if you will. They look at different things, whether it's your thoughts or your identity. But the thing with human design is that human design tells you exactly what your gifts are, what makes you magic. And while that may sound a little bit woo woo, I can tell you from all of my experiences with my clients that when I look at their human design and I tell them about their gifts, and maybe even the shadows of some of those gifts, But when we talk about their human design, I can't even count on one hand the time that a client has cried or been elated because they're like, "Wow, I feel so seen. I feel so incredibly seen. No, I've never told anybody that. How I can't believe it." And I just thought I was broken. I thought there was something wrong with me. This is why I do the work that I do. The majority, the lion's share of my clients are women. And how long have we been programmed and conditioned to believe that we are not enough? We are not worthy. Be quiet. Sit in a corner. Don't talk. Don't worry about speaking up in a meeting. That guy over there, he's got it. And I don't mean this as like a men versus women thing, whatever. No, this is like since the beginning of time. Okay. We have so much power to create as women. It's incredible. And that's why I do this work, because you deserve to be seen. Your magic needs, the world needs your magic. You deserve your magic. You deserve to take in and benefit from all of these gifts and not have to live in your shadows. Today's my birthday, and I'm going to tell you a story. Then we're going to wrap up this Fraggle Rock of an episode, which I hope you have enjoyed and hope you have gleaned something from. For those that are closest to me and know me, they know that I didn't get married until I was a little bit older. Let me see. We're going on. I was like 36, I think, when we got married. Okay. And I dated. I'm a 5 line. Okay. I'm a 3-5 in my human design. The thing about that second number, the 5 line, and we've talked about this a little bit here and there, is that 5 lines have a projection field. While they are natural leaders, people come to 5 lines when they need something. So a person will come to you and it's almost as if they project their own stuff onto you. And the stuff is all that they can see. They can't see you for who you are. And when they get this thing that that they're projecting onto you, right? It's almost as if somebody goes, claps their hands, snaps their fingers. They wake up out of a trance and they're like, "Who are you and why am I here?" Well, I say that jokingly, but truthfully, it is like crazy how it works with 5 lines. So if you deliver on these expectations that people have of you, then they love you, they adore you, you're their savior, you're their hero. They put you up on this pedestal, and it's such a crazy thing as a 5 line because you're like, "I'm on top of the world. Ah, it's amazing." And then they have another expectation you didn't meet. Boom, they knock that pedestal right out from underneath you and you hit the ground. Now you're the villain in their story. Love you or hate you, they can't stop watching. That is 5 line energy. The thing about it, and my story for you today is that in all the years that I dated and I knew exactly what I wanted in my partner, I knew exactly who I wanted that human to be. I knew exactly how I wanted to feel. As a 5 line, it's very difficult for other people to see you in all of who you are. They can only see the projection. So it's very interesting in love because people can't see you for who you are. It's crazy to not feel like anybody ever sees you. And it wasn't until human design and understanding and becoming certified that I'm like, "Wow, I feel that in my core." People are like, "Oh, I know you. I know you." No, you don't. You have an idea of who I am, but you don't really know me. You can't really it's hard to tell people that. That's hard for people to receive. And so, 5 years ago, I'll tell you, I met my husband, and we met over a very corny joke. I asked him in true form, what is the most dangerous word in nuclear physics? And he's like a really big brain guy, but it broke his brain and he froze. And ultimately it was it's just a joke. It's just a bad dad joke. The answer is oops. Right, is a very dangerous word in nuclear physics. But it all started from there. And we were both a point in our life where we were setting very clear expectations about who we wanted and very unapologetically, like, if I'm not for you, I'm not for you. It's okay. But because of where he was also at, he saw me and he has continued to see me deeply, pursue me deeply. I couldn't I couldn't have prayed up all of the things that this man is. He's he's something else. He's a whole nother story. Someday we'll do a podcast just on my husband, Chris. He is just a dynamo. He's brilliant. He's very disciplined. He's just a very big brain energy, but very protective of his people. Well, there's a lot of things there, but the thing is, he's seen me for exactly who I am and exactly who I'm not. And all the years that I didn't feel seen, but I waited and waited and waited because the timing wasn't right, the person wasn't right. All of a sudden, it clicked in an instant. And in retrospect, our human designs are like magnets for each other. It's really funny to look at our connection chart. So I'm going to wrap all of this up. 2 things that important out of this episode for you to, if you take away these 2 things, then today's a good day. Number 1, your human design is about understanding who you are so you can live into your full gifts, your full purpose, and have the impact on this world that you deserve to have, that the world needs. And number 2, divine timing. You're going to get God winks. You're going to get soul nudges. You're going to have a knowing of what's for you. You can't force things that aren't for you. You might be able to force them in the short term, but not in the long term. And if you're single and you're listening to this, know that having standards isn't bad. Knowing what you want isn't bad. It does require you to be patient in your own growth and timing. And man, when it hits, it hits. And if I could just speak from a place of my 3-line, having been there, done that, trial and errored my way through everything, and my 5-line and not being seen, I will tell you that to be seen and to be on the right timing, the divine timing, it is such a game changer. That applies to love, but it also applies to lots and lots of things. There's going to be times in your life where you feel something, you get an idea, you're kind of called, and it's just not landing. It's not setting up the way you want to. Maybe the timing just isn't right. But when it is, you'll know. And that I know for sure. I hope today's show resonated with you.
episode.
If you want to be first to hear the next shows, make sure you follow the Go Inspire podcast. Check out goinspirecoaching.com for show notes and your free human design chart. And I'll catch you next time.